Hey ladies and gents, welcome back. This is going to be part 4 to What If Naruto Had Magic. So in the last part we left off with Naruto going along with the pretty much doing, very first part he went through and did the bell test with his teammates, which are Sasuke and Sakura. He went through all of his D-rank missions, and eventually he got assigned a higher rank mission. He went to guide a bridge builder named Hazuna to pretty much build a bridge. He went there, they faced Zabuza once, they beat him, and Zabuza ran away with Haku. They faced him a second time, they killed both of them. That's pretty much how it went. They decided that they were going to return back to the village at that moment, and that's where we're going to jump right back into the what if. So Naruto is wandering around the village, pretty much just after returning, and he's walking around and he sees this brunette girl that is probably around his age, and he walks up asking her name because Naruto has a lot more confidence than in the original. He walks up, and this girl introduces herself as Shion. And she explains to Naruto that she was actually saved by Kakashi. And I'm not sure how many people actually know of the story. I was actually doing some research on like different characters that I could implement into the series, and I actually stumbled upon her. She's like was going to be an anime character. That's who the little character on my thumbnail is, like from last part and this part, and that's because I was going to introduce her in this part and leave that as like a little bit of a spoiler slash like upcoming, like that's what's gonna happen. And so what she pretty much got saved by Kakashi and took his last name due to like respect. So it's Shion Hadake, and apparently she was in like all these different missions, but I never actually saw her. Like I don't know exactly how, like what she is, but apparently she's a thing. So Naruto introduces himself. He's like, "I'm Naruto Uzumaki," and Naruto isn't like kind of like how I just interpreted him as like all happy and upbeat, but in this moment he actually generally is, because he's just like, oh, this girl actually seems pretty nice, not gonna lie. I mean, Naruto's kind of having the hots for her at this point, because he doesn't really have the hots for Sakura or Hinata or anybody like that, because he hasn't really, well, obviously he doesn't have feelings for Hinata because he like really never talks to her, especially since he like didn't have like all the moments where he'd like save her and talk to her in the village due to him being gone for so long. So Naruto wouldn't actually like Hinata. Hinata would probably most likely still be stalking Naruto, and Naruto probably would have noticed this, and because again he's a lot like more intelligent and smart, and like he would have noticed that this girl is creepily stalking him. So Naruto wouldn't probably like Hinata due to him being like, she's kind of creepy. So Naruto, just from this moment of talking with Shion, actually starts developing a liking towards her. And Shion feels the same way. And as Naruto pretty much continues on walking around the village, he's walking with Shion and they continue on talking. And everybody in the village is like looking at this, and they're starting to get jealous because they're like, oh my gosh, what the, with Naruto? But she's, but like what? Why? And everybody, including Sakura, Ino, Hinata especially, is like jealous of this. They're like, oh my god, Naruto has somebody actually that likes him. Obviously Hinata is not like thinking that, but she's just like, my Naruto, my Naruto, kind of a thing. So she is like, she's not necessarily, well, she's obviously jealous, but it's like less of like, I don't know how to word this. And Naruto and Shion start having feelings towards each other, and they pretty much start dating. And that's it. I don't know where I was going with the whole Naruto Hinata thing, but I'm just gonna be done doing that because I already feel stupid. So I'm just gonna continue on with the what if. So eventually Naruto starts the Chunin exams. And the first part of the Chunin exams is still the written exams. Naruto passes this with flying colors due to him being insanely intelligent, and this due to gaining the intelligence from all the people and monsters and stuffs that he absorbed, the power and knowledge and just the things that he gained, pretty much everything from these people. So Naruto passes, and or like easily getting like literally top scores like ever, like surpassing Minato, Itachi, like all of them. He's like insanely smart. So Naruto passes the test with insane like good scores. And now the next part is still the Forest of Death. So the Forest of Death goes pretty much the same, at least at the start, up until the point where Naruto's taking a pee. And this pretty much sounds very similar, but that's because they don't do anything up until Naruto takes a pee, because nothing happens. So the snake would still try to eat Naruto, and Naruto would pretty much one-shot the snake, and he'd go over to where his teammates are, knowing that the snake was actually a summoning. He would see Orochimaru, or an imposter of him, pretty much recite the the code that Sasuke had. Sasuke wouldn't think of much of this because, again, Naruto's insanely smart, most likely, or not most likely, like, smarter than Sasuke, so Sasuke wouldn't be like, oh, this isn't Naruto. Naruto wouldn't be able to recite whatever the code was, but no, Naruto probably would be able to. And this is where Naruto amps himself with his lightning cloak and jumps in, slamming his fist into Orochimaru. Orochimaru pretty much has to undo his transformation and faces the people in front of him. And he's actually surprised by Naruto because this was that was insane speed. Like, that was high Jonin level speed that Naruto was just showing off. And was that a lightning cloak? How can Naruto even do that? That's like an insanely high grade jutsu or technique or whatever the heck you call it. So Orochimaru is pretty impressed with this kid. And he pretty much is like, ooh, I'm gonna give him a curse mark, and then he'll come to me, and then I can take his body. So he does this to Sasuke, giving Sasuke a curse mark, pretty much making him incapacitated, and he wouldn't be able to fight anymore. And he now looks at Naruto, and Naruto's kind of just like, who is this guy? Why is he so powerful? How is he doing any of this? How is he so strong? And pretty much Orochimaru would use his giant snake head, and he would attempt to bite Naruto. But when he attempts to bite Naruto, his head just kind of phases through Naruto's neck, and he's just like, what? Did Naruto move really quickly? I couldn't even see him move. Did Naruto move, or did I just warp through his body? And this continues on for a little bit, and Orochimaru realizes that Naruto isn't just moving quickly and making an after image of himself and his head going through it. He is literally just he's phasing through Naruto, and he's wondering why. He's like, how is this even possible? And before he can try to react to this ability of Naruto's, Naruto teleports in front of him, and he slams his fist into Orochimaru's gut, sending him flying back into a tree, before he charges up one of his giant fireballs, and he throws it at Orochimaru now, and it's again, a massive fireball, the size of Madara's Majestic Destroyer flame. Orochimaru is overwhelmed by this tremendous force and heat and power of just the sheer amount of mana that was in this actual attack. And he's overwhelmed by this, and he's forced to pretty much switch out of this body and go into a different one due to the power that was held inside of that single fireball. And Naruto now kind of just smiles at Orochimaru and just says, that was nothing. He now starts throwing hundreds of these giant fireballs at Orochimaru, and Orochimaru pretty much does what Sasuke and he does in Shippuden, where they pretty much just disappear and ninja. I don't even know what it's called. What are they doing? Here, I'll put up a scene. Right, I don't know what they're doing, but I'm just not gonna bother with. I know people probably know what I'm talking about. Where they just kind of use a hand seal and then all of a sudden they're just gone. I don't know if they're reverse summoning themselves somewhere else, but Orochimaru either reverse summons himself into the snake world, or he leaves knowing that hundreds of these giant freaking flames would just instantly disintegrate him, and he's like, I'm out. I'm out, chief. So Naruto leaves, thinking that he killed Orochimaru, and they go hide under the tree, waiting for Sasuke to recover. And while they're waiting for Sasuke to recover, they actually notice that there's 3 pretty much Genin standing outside. Naruto sensed them and knew they were coming, so he wasn't too surprised by the fact that they were there, and Naruto now gets up and walks out. He's just like, if you guys come any closer, you will die. And the 3 Genin are just like, because all of them are insanely cocky. They're like, who do you think you are? Do you know who we are? We are the new. We are the upcoming. your flame style and your lightning, that is the old. This is the sound. Like, kind of like what they did in the original, where they think they're like so cool, high and mighty. And Naruto easily one-shots each and every one of them, taking their scroll. And the scroll happens to be the one that they needed, and they pretty much are like, oh, well, that's cool, I guess. So Naruto would pretty much be like, okay, well, we're gonna head back to we're gonna head to the end of the Forest of Death. So they put Sasuke on Naruto's back up until he wakes up, and Sasuke's kind of does, like, what would you expect Sasuke to do in this scenario? Just be like, oh, I'm just casually riding on Naruto's back. Okay, I'm fine with that. No, there's no way he'd do that. He'd just start freaking out. He'd be like, what are you, freaking gay? And like shit like that. Like, there's no way he would be nice to Naruto about carrying him, even though he was knocked out unconscious. So they would end up going to the end, and just before, or like right when Naruto walks to the door, he senses it. Not as big as his, but he senses a massive amount of mana, and it's not coming from his own body, and he's wondering what it's coming from. And behind this massive amount of mana, he can sense massive amounts of bloodlust and rage and just fury. And Naruto's wondering who this person is. Who is this being that has this power that Naruto only thought he had? And Naruto walks into pretty much the end of the thing, and he can sense the power getting closer and closer and closer, until Naruto looks up, and he sees a red-haired boy sitting there. This boy jumps down, and he says, "So you have it too, do you?" But we're going to cover that in the next part, because this is the end of this episode. So I'll see you guys in the next part. Peace out.